Hello there, my name is Clive and I am a technical analyst at Futures Techs in the UK. And let's look at a few charts then, if that's what I do. Where should we start? S&P 500 futures is one of the markets I analyse, and obviously very interesting times at the moment. The chart that you can see on your screen shows the island tops that we have put on that chart in the last few months. And obviously the one back in February was extremely significant and saw that precipitous COVID-related fall after that, but then we saw this dramatic recovery. That recovery got us up to 32.31 on the futures sometime around the beginning of June, but then we saw another island left on the chart right there. The first sort of there was 4 days in June where we were higher, and then we gapped lower on the 11th of June, and we are now retesting the bottom of that island gap, which is 31.79.25 on the futures, and we can't seem to get above there at the moment. If we saw, this chart says to me, if we see a break of 31.21 on the futures, then we have a downside story to consider with targets at 29.88, 29.52, and then maybe even back to the sort of 28.30 to 28.60 area, which is an interesting area on the chart lower down. How does that look if we were to look at the European markets? The next chart I want to show you and talk about is the DAX futures, which is the German stock market. And we have a very interesting level around there at 12.88. 12.882, and now 12.882 is that orange line on my chart and was a really strong support level for a good while prior to the big sell-off. It was a support level in December, then again in early January, and then at the end of January. And so really, come the end of February, when the market broke lower because of the news flow and the pandemic hitting the world at that time, that was really the key level that broke, that really got things going. And where has the recovery stalled? It stalled right there as well. Back in the beginning of June, 12,900 was where we found the sellers. And where are we in the last few weeks? We're back there again, and it's an interesting area of resistance. We've got an uptrend support line, that straight line underneath the bars there, which is at 12,400 on the futures at the moment. So a break of 12,400 suggests some downside. But if we can get above 12,900, then we can get going again to the upside. I'm steering towards the idea that equities are due a pullback. And one of the things, there's a number of bits of evidence on their charts to suggest that. But another thing that's steering me towards that is the strength we've seen recently in some of the metals markets. And gold has been a particularly good performer. And that yesterday's high in gold was for the futures, almost hit 1830. Now that is the highest price we've seen for gold since 2011. And 2011 was when we topped out in gold. It's the all-time high at 1923.7. So now we've got an 18 handle in gold, and I believe the cash is also concurring with that. The next target is that all-time high. Gold chart suggests we're going to 1923. But some people don't like buying things that are already on their highs. They prefer to look for something that's got potential to make a move higher. That's where we come to my last chart, and that is the platinum futures. Now, platinum had a very similar sort of ride to many of the markets, over the course of the early part of the year, where we saw a significant sell-off over the course of February. And the same sort of things happened since. Decent recovery. It was mid-May when platinum topped out at 943, and then we spent about a month and a half consolidating sideways to lower. But we've broken out of that consolidation last week, and we are now seeing some gains. And I'm quite excited about the upside prospects on that basis for platinum. We've got upside targets at 943. Then there's a big area above around 1,040, 1,050. But ultimately, we could go to 1120 or even 1215 for the platinum chart. So there's a few things to think about, and have a good day. Thank you very much.